Welcome to this week's 360 show. To all my 360 family out there, I hope you all had a wonderful week. It is the start of a new week, and some exciting results have come our way as the SA20 is finally done. And we've got our winner, that is MI Cape Town, a new winner. And there's been quite a few new winners of late, and we'll talk about that. Rohit Sharma is back into form with a wonderful century against England as India clinches that series. That's the ODI series, and some really good signs for them heading into the ICC Champions Trophy. And then a whitewash for Australia against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. Fantastic performance, and Steve Smith once again in the form of his life. It's all happening on the 360 show. Let's go. Alrighty, guys, as per usual, it's the 360 view. So I'll get the clock going here and I'll hit it straight away as we'll start with the SA20. Obviously, my MI Cape Town winning it for the first time against the odds. Yes, they were the favourites, but I tipped Sunrisers to win. I really just felt like it was almost written in the stars for Aidan Markram and his team to go three in a row. But MI Cape Town had other ideas. Rashid Khan as captain had a wonderful tournament, and I think, funny enough and ironically, he had his best game in the final, and that's the way I know him. And that's why I have so much respect for Rashid Khan. He had a great tournament. There are also a few other players that had a really good tournament. Senior player Kagiso Rabada, the strike bowler, also very calm and composed in that final. I interviewed him right after the game, and I spoke to him about his focus, and he said, AB, I just felt like a robot out there. My eyes were open, and I felt like something special was about to happen. He picked up 4 wickets in that final at the Wanderers, at the Bull Ring, and a fantastic tournament for him as well, and he's very happy with that trophy. Let's quickly talk about the rising star of the tournament, ABReacts, the youngster, only 21 years old, and people tend to forget that. He's been through a lot for a guy who's only 21 years old. Started with a very good first season, then went quiet for a season or two as he took some knocks there in the IPL, came back to the SA20, didn't do well, and he was feeling the pressure in the season and almost trying to justify why he deserves to be there. And the young man stood up. I always knew he had a lot of character, but he displayed it really, really well in this tournament. It started in the opening game against the Sunrisers in Port Elizabeth, as they were in a little bit of trouble, and he came in and he just took the target away from the Sunrisers. And the same thing happened in the final. Absolutely crazy. He came in with 4 wickets down, only batted at 6 for some reason. Maybe it was a right-left-hand combination they wanted there. He came in under pressure, and he upped the ante, took a few calculated risks, scored a quick-fire 30 that really shook the Sunrisers bowling attack, who I thought was the best bowling attack in the tournament, but Brevis playing a huge hand in the final. Also, quickly you mentioned for the bowler and the player of the season, Marco Jansen. What a fantastic player. He came on in a very big way in the last couple of seasons, maturing as a player. And then also Luhandre Pretorius, batter of the season, youngster, 18 years old. You will see a lot more of him. And I mentioned Devil Brevis already. But congratulations to MI Cape Town with the first win. There were also a lot of other first wins around the globe. In the Big Bash, the Hobart Hurricanes winning for the first time. Obviously, MI Cape Town and SA20. And also in the ILT20, Dubai Capital won the title for the first time. So what will happen in the IPL? Hint, hint, RCB. We'll see what happens. I'm running out of time. Let's move on to the next one. Rohit Sharma, guys, back into form. He was quoted saying here, I really broke it down into pieces about how I wanted to bat. And that already is enough said for me. Small targets. When you are out of form, people tend to overcomplicate it, and you want to get to the result in a very, very quick fashion. Take your time, break it down into small targets. And that's also a good way of chasing a total down in a cricket match. Don't look at the 350 you need to chase. You will feel intimidated and you will feel overwhelmed. Break it down into small targets, 10 runs at a time, and talk to your partner. How can we get there? So that's what Rohit did, and it's great to see him back in form. And I can definitely relate with being in bad form around 2006 and 7, or actually 5, 6, and 7. It was a really tough time for me. It took ages, and I had so many coaches trying to give me advice. But the minute I started breaking it down into the basics, I wrote down a couple of things that worked for me. I spoke about it in length. I'm not going to repeat it, but it sounds like it's a very similar thing Rohit went through there, and I'm incredibly happy for him. And it really bodes well for India going into the Champions Trophy with a bit of form and with Rohit Sharma also batting really well again. So England, guys, on the other hand, not so good for them. They've only won 4 of their last 13 ODIs, and they were not long ago tipped as the strongest white ball team in the world. They've now played 4 series since the World Cup and lost all 4. Absolutely incredible. We know the kind of style they play, so it comes with a bit of risk, but unfortunately, playing in India not been good for them as they lost the series once again. And there must be some worries. I know they are maybe rebuilding and they're going through a phase. They were trying a few new players. Maybe that is part of the reason, but they're going to have to find some form really, really soon. Moving on to the last topic, Steve Smith, in the form of his life, going over to Australia, to Sri Lanka for Australia as captain. Guys, look at his record as captain. This is absolutely incredible, and there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that he should be captain, and I'm so happy to see him back. Average of almost 69 as captain, and I mean, he just comes with so much experience, plays the pressure moments incredibly well, as he did in Sri Lanka. 2 test matches in goal. Very surprising for me that Sri Lanka wasn't in the game more. Losing by an innings in that first one, okay, cool, put it behind you, but then going down badly again, even winning the toss, batting first, getting 257 in that first innings, you would think the wicket was going to break down. They're at home and they could really apply the pressure, but in stepped Steve Smith and the Aussie boys, and they just made it hard work for Sri Lanka right throughout the series. Great win for them, and can they be stopped, guys? That's the question. They have a lot of players in form now. They have a wonderful bowling attack. Going to Lords in June, playing against a relatively inexperienced South Africa, you got to say these guys are favourites. There's no doubt about it. But I am quietly confident and exceptionally excited for the South African boys. And I think we might just have a little trick up our sleeve. So we'll see what they come up with. Alrighty, that is 360 seconds for you. And that is a 360 view. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will now move on to, you guessed it, from AB to 360. Let's go. Alrighty, 360 family, I'm outside, ready to roll. Chapter 4 of From AB to 360. Tripod is ready. There's my bat. I've even got an energy drink ready. It's a little bit messy in the net. We had a thunder shower last night, so I'll be cleaning that up after the show. Unfortunately, didn't have time to do so beforehand. But anyway, I'm very sure you guys will bear with me for Chapter 4, as Chapter 4 will be about footwork, a very important element of batting. You can have the perfect stance, grip, backlift, you name it. If your feet are moving in the wrong places, you will get yourself into big trouble. So, yes, Chapter 4 From AB to 360. Let's go. Footwork. Why is it important? The simple and short answer is it sets the foundation. It lays the foundation for all of your shots. A strong foundation gets you into good positions. A poor foundation gets you into bad positions. But how do you do this? The secret to this all is the feet follows the head. So what do I mean with that? The head moves first and the feet will follow. So look at this. Bowler's about to release the ball, do my back and across. Light little step with my left foot. Remember, I don't overcommit with my front foot, just a little tap. Look at my heels still in the air there. So I don't want to overcommit, but my head goes towards the bowler a little bit as he's about to release. Now that is the perfect position to be in. That means I'm looking for a full delivery, in which case I will get my stride in and play the shot. If it is not full, I have a little jump forward or push forward and I'm ready to rock back for the pull shot or rock back for the back foot drive or the cut. All right, but look at my head. It's moving in that line I spoke about before. Where the bowler releases the ball, I draw that line to my stumps and that helps me to stay in that position. Get my head forward, my feet will follow. I don't want to get my head there because what will my feet do the minute the ball's released? Naturally, I'll step there. Look at where I'm now. Now the ball is straight and I'm in massive trouble here and I'm a big candidate for LBW as I'll probably hit my pad with my bat. You see a lot of batters get out like that. They go a little bit across with their head, which means they step in the wrong line. They try and cover and they hit their pad. The bat deflects to the right and the ball hits the pad, is out LBW. So there's the number one secret and the biggest rule. Your feet will follow your head because your head is the heaviest part of the body. Very important, at the point of delivery is when the head starts pushing a little bit forward. Not prior to that, because I don't want you to overcommit
on the front foot before the ball's been released. Remember, 60% or so on the back foot still with my weight, so I'm not completely committed forward. Just a little tap with my left foot, and at the point of delivery, that's when I start pushing forward with my head. I don't do a stride yet, and as the ball's released, that's where I decide I'm going forward or I'm coming back. There are a few variations in footwork that you can do in order to either unsettle the bowler, to get him off his plans, and also to dominate him. So it depends what the threat is. Generally before an innings, I will try and figure out what's going to be the biggest threat on the day. I'll watch a television screen. I'll watch my other mates play if I'm batting at 4 or down the order. As an opening bat, generally I would just do the basics well and stick to my normal technique, which would be 2-leg, on to off stump, have a nice balance technique and try and get as much information as possible, and then try and sort of unsettle the bowlers or try and get them off their plan. I will figure out what the threat is on the day. But if I come in number 4 and I know the threat, for instance, is finding the edge, there are 3 slips in, a couple of gullies, what will I do to counter that? Generally for me, I've spoken to you about getting on off stump, on swinging and seaming wickets, but I can take it even further and exaggerate it even more. Instead of a back and across, I can do a forward and across. Instead of a back and across, getting onto off stump, the problem with that is now LBW is still very much in play, but at least I'm covering my stump, so anything outside off I can let go and I don't have to play it. But if I feel they're starting to nip a few back and LBW and caught in the slips are in play, I'll now do forward and across, do the normal stance there, but now I'm half a meter outside my crease, so it really limits the danger of getting LBW, and my stumps are behind me now, so anything outside my body line I can just let go and eliminate that threat. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for him to be greedy and to come at my stumps but get the length wrong, and then really just focus on getting my eyes level and having good balance and working it through there. Someone who uses this a lot is Steve Smith. We've seen him really go across his stumps, but he doesn't completely commit that side. He's still waiting for the bowler to come straight, in which case he flicks it through the mid-wicket area for 4 more often than not. One of his biggest strengths is he unsettles the bowlers and he unsettles their game plans. The same is true for an in-swing delivery. When I feel that bowled and LBW are the biggest threat on the day, I will show my stumps, because ultimately where I want him to bowl is in my arc, which is straight in this case. So I lure him in bowling straight, because this is something I've practiced for ages. It's the straight drive. That's where I want it. Anything down leg, if I miss it, it's not LBW because I'm now outside leg stump. If I don't miss it, it's quite an easy hit for runs down the leg side. Or he's got to now change his game plan, try and nick me off, go outside off, in which case it's into my strength and it's something I also want him to do. So there are little tweaks that you can do with your feet in order to get a bowler off his plans, a seam bowler that is. Let's quickly talk about spin bowling. So the ultimate idea is if a spinner's bowling well to me, I ideally want to unsettle him as well. How? I want him to change his length, thinking that I might be coming down the wicket or thinking that I'm staying deep in my crease or whatever the case may be. The ultimate idea is to get him off the top of the stumps. He knows I'm not just going to stand still. I'm looking for opportunities to score against him. Very, very important. All right, guys, I quickly want to summarize chapter 4 because I feel I almost got a little bit overcomplicated with you guys. That will come later. There's so much more I want to share when it comes to footwork, but also the psychology thereof and what you're trying to do to get the bowler off his game. We'll delve into that a little bit later. The most important thing I want you to take away from today is remember, the feet will follow the head. So with all the variations I showed you, staying on leg stump, back and across, forward and across, the double step with the spinners, the press and then jumping back to the spinners, with all of that, the basics still stay the same. And that is the feet will follow the head. If I do my back and across, at the point of delivery, my head's going there, and you can try this at home. Your foot will want to step there, and that will get you into trouble. So no matter what you do, what your variations are, whether you're going there or here, you still have to get your head wanting to move towards that ball. And that is ultimately the most important thing to remember from today. That's all for chapter 4 from AB to 360. It's time for the CommBox. Let's go.
Alrighty, we are back from the garden, from the nets. I hope you guys enjoyed the fourth chapter of From AB to 360. I'm absolutely loving the new insert that we have, the new segment of the show, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm getting some great feedback. And talking about feedback, let's quickly go to the CommBox because there's lots of nice comments here, and I've been getting some really, really good inspirational stuff that really wants to keep me or inspires me to keep going. So thank you very much for all of you taking part in the 360 show and commenting. Let's start here. Hello, sir. Your videos are helping us a lot to play our best game, and it's helping us to keep going or spending more time at the crease. Request you to please give tips and drills on fielding as well. I fully agree, and I will definitely get there in time. There's lots to cover, guys. I've got so many different ideas. I'm going to keep it basic, as I alluded to, and I spoke to you guys about that. To start off really in a basic way, I'll get a bit more complicated and a bit more tricky and fancy. Also, I'll talk about the mind. We can talk about all kinds of stuff. When we get into the Champions Trophy, we'll maybe use more real life examples of why guys got out and the manner they got out and how they could have prevented it. And also fielding. And I might even touch on bowling, who knows, or what at least what I am experiencing as a batter when a bowler is trying to get me out and the threats that he poses. Lots of ideas, and thank you very much. We will get to fielding as well. There's no doubt about it. I have a few nice ideas that I can share about fielding. AB, please share some clips of your net sessions. Can't wait to see you bat. I'll most definitely do that. I'm taking my boys to the nets. They will be feeding me bowling machine balls while Dad trains. So I've got my two drill sergeants ready to take me through my steps. Great stuff once again. That position of right elbow and bat is going to resolve so much. Now that, and very similarly, I had good results, wrist close to the stomach while hitting. Absolutely. So great that you are using that. It might not work for everyone, and I will always mention that in my various chapters. These are things that worked for me and that I learned and that helped me be consistent and compact with my technique and sort of just a go-to to get a consistency in the way that I moved and did my business at the wicket. So remember, these things might not work for you, but it might get you to think. And I'll ultimately always motivate you guys to go out and find your authentic self, remember? So use these things, and it might just get that brain going like, maybe this will work for me or that will work for me. And that's where I want you guys to go with this. Alrighty. Please do also have sessions on timing the ball and mental stuff related to it. I will get there, no doubt about it. Thank you very much for that. Alrighty, Gibble Chomp 01, nice name. AB, I hope you also speak about your exercises and healthy diets to maintain as a cricketer in upcoming episodes. I have spoken about it before quite in length, I think last year sometime. I spoke a little about the various exercises I do. I'm still on that exercise regime, by the way. It's a 21 different exercises that I do almost on a daily basis. I also combine that with a little bit of strength. I don't do much strength, so I don't like to lift heavy weights. I work a lot on my core and my back and the finer muscles that I believe really helps me to be explosive when I'm playing cricket, but also just in general life when I'm playing paddle or running with my boys, whatever the case may be. I will get back to that for you guys as well. Aditya, you are a super fan, and I would like to thank you for that. You always comment, and your comments are really good, and your questions are good. So here goes. I must say, your idea is truly outstanding. I'm genuinely enthusiastic about your new subscription model, especially knowing that the proceeds will support charity. And this, I want to really give you guys peace of mind. That is what it will be for. I don't want to charge anyone because I feel it needs to be free. But then I thought, hold on, there's such a good reaction. Maybe get everyone just to chip in a little bit, and I can help get a few guys through school, guys that can't afford it, little kids that maybe don't have cricket kit to play with. I can help with that. All the proceeds will go to change people's lives. So thank you very much for being open to that, and I hope all of you will jump on board and help me achieve this. I will also give you feedback the minute I use those funds to help other people have a better life and get through better education and so forth. Alrighty, Surgeon Dr. Nambala, thank you very much. All you said is thanks, exclamation mark. I really appreciate you being a super fan and adding value to the show. All right, and last but not least, Aditya, I also know that your birthday is on the 11th of February. February babies are good babies, right? Aquarius, we love helping other people. So thank you very much for that, guys. Moving on to AB Reacts quickly, I commented on women's cricket recently. Should there be an SA20 Women's League? Have a quick listen to this.
Do you think that it is the right time to start a women's league as well?
Definitely. I've seen some very successful women's leagues, some incredibly good World Cups, T20 World Cups that South Africa played in not too long ago. They did so well in that. The women's leagues and women's cricket in general are growing incredibly fast, and it's great for the game. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a SA20 Women's League, and I think we can base it. We've got the model, we've got the recipe, and we can just copy and paste. It'll be great for the women's game.
So there's my comments about the Women's League, the SA20 Women's League. That hasn't happened yet, but hopefully we will have takeoff soon. As I said there in my interview, the recipe is out there. It's now a matter of just delivering the beautiful dish, right? There's a place in this world for women's cricket. It's grown from strength to strength in the last few years. Sponsorships are jumping on board, and it's really getting me excited. So hopefully the SA20 Women's League will launch soon. That is it for the 360 show, guys. Like, share, and subscribe as per usual. Also hit the bell notification. Lots of exciting stuff around the corner. The Champions League, some incredible cricket that's lined up. But I will see you all on 360 Live this coming Saturday. Have a wonderful week, all of you. Bye now.